suddenly there's these shouts outside, really aggressive shouts. So these guys run in, and I know straight away they're not normal soldiers because there's a real swagger about these guys. Thank God I don't know what they're saying, which is, we're going to kill him, I'm going to cut out his liver and eat it.
There's another scene in the film where you're being shown some weapons that, like NATO weapons that were seized from Ukraine, like the shoulder-fired, the anti-tank rockets, the AT-4s, I think they were, and those Russian Spetsnaz guys walk in and they're wearing the cry pants and their faces are blurred. Like, what was that interaction like? And
Well, the faces weren't blurred
in the film, I mean.
Yeah. So I'm in a place called Svatova, up on the Eastern Front. Eastern Front, President Zelensky is referred to as hell on earth, and it's where the most intense fighting is. And I'm up there, and it was at that point, late 23, and there had been some lightning counter advances by the offensives by the Ukrainian forces very close to where I was, and they'd been routing the Russians at that point. So the Russians at that point were at their lowest ebb and pulling back into this town where I was, Svatova. But I'm in a garage, like a house garage, controlled by this sort of unit I was with. And they were showing me off their NATO weapons, because there are NATO weapons littering that battlefield, but being used by both sides, and they've ended up in Russian hands. And they're showing me these NATO, Swedish, American weaponry, and they just openly show me in this garage. And then suddenly there's these shouts outside, really like aggressive shouts. I can translate now because I had it translated. What the fuck is he doing? Why have you got a foreigner in here? I didn't know that. All I'm hearing is shouting. And again, it's about, when I used to suddenly meet terrorists or Taliban, I kind of go in shock. I just shut down and go calm. So these guys run in. Now, we'd read about low morale amongst Russian soldiers, and, well, these guys, their morale's through the roof. And I know straight away they're not normal soldiers, because they come in and they're clearly, you just can tell, special forces. And they walk in and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? And again, special forces, there's a real swagger about these guys. And they're playing with me, and they're really angry at the beginning, but they know I'm no risk. So they're like fully in control, and they're like threatening me. And I'm just filming. I was carrying filming. And I had it translated. It's sometimes good not to go back to my Mr. Magoo, not speaking the language, because thank God I don't know what they're saying, which is, we're going to kill him. I'm going to cut out his liver and eat it. But this is Russian humor, dark humor. So they're talking about frying my liver. That's a kind of dark humor I'm not, a favourite. But then my fixer brilliantly thinking on his feet, well, can we do an interview? And they're like, well, all right, we won't kill him now, and let's do the interview. And so I interview, and it's Spetsnaz, Russian Special Forces. And it's like, all I'm thinking is, don't shoot me. I can't remember what I asked them. But they're quite clever, smart guys. That's the other thing. And they're well read, like, American, British Special Forces. They know their stuff. And it was quite illuminating. I'll turn my camera off. So these are all weapons, NATO weapons, that they took from the Ukrainians.
Это натовское оружие, которое...
Да, натовское оружие, которое захвачено в бою.
As we were talking, some men stormed in.
Блин, чего вы его привезли? Тебя! Тебе пиздец сейчас!
Фильм документальный очень...
Что?
Помогите человеку здорового.
Это я, печень!
Don't irritate the faces.
They were Spetsnaz, the Russian elite special forces. I can feel he's looking at me like, who the f*** are you? And he's right, never trust journalists, but I want him...
С тобой согласен, что какого хуя, что, типа, ты на него смотришь, как, что за хуйло.
Скажи, что на его печень смотришь.
Он всегда кого-нибудь убить хочет.
The Ukrainians are saying they're winning, and they took Izium, Lyman.
Ну, начнем с того, что они считают, что мы отступаем. Это тактический прием. Мы обязательно идем вперед. Пускай они так думают, что мы отступаем. И то, что говорят, что русские отступают, мораль низка. Нет, это неправда. Они ошибаются очень сильно, они забыли русский дух, у них этого духа уже нет просто-напросто. А русский дух, он непобедим. Поучите историю внимательно, нашу русскую. И вы поймете, что русский не хотел войны никогда. Русские не нападают, а русские заканчивают войну, действительно.
К сожалению, но я думаю, все-таки, наверное, к счастью, мы информационную войну проигрываем. Но мы всегда выиграем войну физическую.
И что они опомнятся, хоть кто-то из них. Потому что они в этих полях, в этих городах просто найдут свою смерть. За свои кощунства, за весь свой беспредел фашистский, который они делают. Карать будем жестко.
They're fighting very close friends, family almost. Ukraine, Russians are the same roots, the same history, they're neighbors. Does that make it harder?
Конечно, тяжело. Здесь русскоговорящее население, здесь такие же точно славяне.
А могли бы спокойно сесть на гармоне, на балалайке поиграть, водки попить,
Мне нравится уж.
поговорить по душам.
нравится.
Но не хотят.
Вы сейчас куда отправляетесь?
Ну, подробности раскрыть не можем, но прямо сейчас выдвигаемся на работу. По внешнему виду видно.
Может, ты чуть скажешь? Что
Я не даю интервью, снимать базара нет.
Он для массовки.
Я только стреляю.
I don't give interview, I only shoot.
Давай.
Все, ребята, давайте. Спасибо вам
Всего доброго.
большое за знакомство, за уделенное
Спасибо за
время.
интересное интервью.
Thank you very much.
Поехали, потому что времени действительно мало.
Мы везде уже сегодня опаздываем.
They leave. Which is not in the film. A month or so later, I get arrested because they must have, some commanding officer hears that Spetsnaz, who've never done an interview, I think, there was maybe some archive footage with Spetsnaz in this Afghanistan. That they may have done interviews with Russian, but there's no known interview with Spetsnaz on Western media. So I think word got out and they were probably in trouble. Next time I was in that town, I get arrested by military intelligence and the Spetsnaz guys are there. And I'm invited to a town and invited to stay in a hotel but can't leave, and invited for lunch. Even though I go out for a cigarette, I've got a guard. So I think the official word is I'm detained without it being, and then told you need to leave the country pretty damn quickly. And that what's weird is, and you know, some of these guys who are talking to me in English going, I know he's a spy, what's he doing? We don't, of course he's not a journalist. And it's, again, was enlightening that there isn't a monolithic state, because some people are saying he's good. They're getting calls from Moscow, Foreign Affairs Ministry saying, no, he's a journalist. Someone from Ministry of Intelligence or Defense saying, what the fuck's he doing there? Who's he? Arrest him. So they're like, well, your visa's running out. You need to leave. And I'm driving the last day, a visa, like 1 day left on my visa. And, you know, there had been an American journalist arrested at this point. I know they can use journalists as pawns in. And the running joke I'd had with my fixer was that if we fuck up, we're going to end up in a gulag in Siberia. But I'm feeling I haven't got enough footage yet. And I'm like, we've just wasted this getting detained by these Spetsnaz guys. Let's go back to this area we filmed. And that's the last scene of the film. You see me on the front lines. I had 1 day left of my visa. I have to get to Moscow. And we're sitting in the trench under relenting fire. And they've just taken this forest. They're really pleased. They've lost like 600 men and thousands have been wounded. It's pointless. You know, that's the other thing about this war. The attrition rate and deaths for 1 mile or 100 meters taken is ridiculous. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, we've got to get back to Moscow. My visa's about to run out. Fuck, we'll definitely end up in Siberia, in a gulag. What we don't realize, the unit we were with are Siberian. They don't speak English, but they hear the word Siberian. They're like, oh, what's he saying about Siberia? And Sash Murphy's saying, oh, it's just saying, it's a joke of ours, we might end up in a gulag. And they're like, what's wrong with Siberia? And I'm like, there's this comedy scene. I'm like, what? I thought the whole world associated Siberia with gulags. Well, not Siberians. They're like, what's wrong with Siberia? And one said, Siberia's lovely in spring. We're like, whatever. Get in the car, drive. I drive 32 whatever hours, get to Moscow, get out of there on a plane to London with some caviar.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the interview. If you got anything out of this video at all, please like the video, leave me a comment, tell me what you thought of the video, tell me who you'd like to see on the show. I really appreciate the support. It goes a long way on these platforms, as you guys know. Most importantly, I have some excellent interviews coming up in the future that I'm really, really excited about. So please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of them. But that's it. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you again soon.